Hello, the Reluctant Rambler here, and today we'll be walking the Thames path from Maidenhead to Windsor. This is a 7-mile easy stroll. We start our walk today at Maidenhead Bridge on the Bath Road. Coordinates can be found in the video description or on the Reluctant Rambler magazine in issue.com. The present bridge was designed by Robert Taylor and built in 1777. There has been a bridge here since 1280. If you come from Maidenhead Station, cross the bridge and then go down River Road, the first road on the right hand side, towards the railway bridge. Continue along the road past the Maidenhead Rowing Club. On the opposite bank you'll see this building, which is the Guards Club Rowing Club. We continue through these gates, which leads onto a private road, and then under the arches of the sounding bridge. The sounding bridge gets its name from the strong echo effects under the arches. It was built in 1838 by Isambard Kingdom Burnell to carry the Great Western Railway, and the bridge appears in Rain, Steam and Speed, the Great Western Railway, painted by Turner in 1844. Maidenhead was a small village until the building of the bridge over here in 1280, originally called South Ellington. Permission was given for a wharf to be built here, and in Old English a new wharf means maiden hive. Some say the name changed to Maidenhead over a period of time. After a short while we come across this gate. Let's go through the gate. Pathway bears to the right between two well trimmed hedges. Continue along that, then it turns into a dirt path alongside the bank of the Thames. And of course the Thames is full of islands, some occupied, others not, like this one here. After 3 miles we've now reached Bray Lock. There was a mill recorded on the site in the Domesday Book, and in 1328 there was a reference to Richard Atlock of Bray, occupying a weir called Browbrook. 50 years later, in 1377, there are records of travellers complaining of excessive tolls at a flash lock on the site called Hambledon Lock. Both the lock and the weirs were removed in 1510 by order of the Commissioner of Sewers. In 1622 a new flash lock was built by Thomas Manfield, and presence of water pens is noted in 1632. A pound lock and weir were first proposed in 1833 for the improvement in navigation. The fall between Maidenhead and Boveney was large, leading to shallows and strong current. The Poe path was on the Buckinghamshire bank and navigation on the Berkshire side, so tow ropes had to pass across the island. The suggestion of a lock was made again in 1843 in a lockhouse built on Parting Eyot, with an open side lock the following year. The miller contributed to the cost of the weir. The lock was often left open except when the river levels were low and no tolls were collected. Sides were added before 1877 and the lock and weir were rebuilt in 1885. Prior to the rebuilding, Charles Dickens described Bray Lock as a rotten and dangerous structure. After our quick visit to Bray Lock, we just continue along the pathway on the Buckinghamshire side of the river. Quarter of a mile past Bray Lock we come across this gate. This actually leads us through people's private gardens, but the pathway goes straight ahead through here and we just go straight through. And we've now reached the first entrance to Dorney Lake, where the rowing events for the 2012 Olympic Games are held. There is another entrance further down, which is next to the actual rowing centre, and we'll be going to that one. But if you want a change of scenery, you can walk through here and follow the pathway that runs down the left hand side of the lake. It's not everybody who's going to have swan and geese in their back garden. This is the second entrance into Dorney Lake. If you go through this gate, you'll actually come out to Dorney Lake, where the starting area was for the rowing events. And here we are looking down the main rowing course at Dorney Lake. The lake is a purpose-built rowing lake owned and financed by Eton College, which spent $17 million developing it in October 2009. After leaving Dorney Lake, on the opposite bank of the river we have Windsor Racecourse. There was a temporary bridge built across the Thames at this point during the Summer and Paralympics 2012, so that people could get easy access to Dorney Lake. A little bit further down we come across this church, which is St Mary Magdalene's of Boveney. The church is recorded in the National Heritage List for England as a designated Grade 1 listed building, and is under the care of the Friends of Friendless Churches. A church has been on this site since before the Norman conquest, but the fabric of the present church dates from around the 12th century. Windows in the tower were added in the 15th century. The church was built to serve the bargemen working on the River Thames, and there was a quay alongside the church. And here we are at Boveney Lock. Originally the lock was proposed here in 1820. These plans proposed cuts to the mouth of the Cleaver Mill stream. Because of difficulty in navigation, the type bends downstream. However, the present location was eventually chosen with a timber lock built in 1838, with a regular traffic boat from Eton College to Queen's Eyot. A temporary boat slide was built in 1895, which became permanent on the site of the old lock when a new lock was built immediately to the side in 1898. And here we have the main stands of Windsor Racecourse, also known as Royal Windsor Racecourse. Even though they've been racing in this area since Henry VIII's time, this course wasn't actually built to 1866. And after 6 miles we now get our first sight of Eton and Windsor. And over to our left hand side we have Slough, of course a setting for the office. The Thames pathway moves away from the Thames for a bit to take out a corner, and you go across this bridge Over the other side, across this field, path is fairly well marked, and it brings us back to Thames again. This mural under the Elizabeth Bridge was painted by London artist Cosmo Sarson, and with the right app, if you point your mobile phone towards it, it plays video and talks to you. Just after passing Elizabeth Bridge, we finally get our first sight of Windsor Castle. A little bit further on we come across this footbridge where somebody seems to have moved the markers. The Thames path is now marked to go off to the left. In actual fact, just stay on the pathway which runs upside the Thames. We've now come to the last piece of open greenery before we go into Eton. Windsor Castle right in front of us. We've now reached the edge of Eton, and we go down between these two buildings towards the pub at the bottom there, the Waterman's Arms, and take the road which runs on its left hand side. We head up Broker Street, straight up to the High Street, then turn to our right. We now have Eton Bridge in front of us. Go across Eton Bridge, and you will see these stairs on your left hand side. Go down the stairs, which will bring us onto Thameside, and we just go to straight ahead. At the first road on your right, we've got the farmyard. This is where we'll be finishing our walk today. Windsor and Eton Riverside station is up there on the left hand corner. If this video is helpful to you, please leave a like as it helps the channel. A full written description of the walk with maps can be found in the Reluctant Rambler magazine on issue.com. Thank you for watching.